In 2025, the confusion between Social Security number holders and U.S. citizens is at an all-time high, especially under President Trump's second term, where immigration laws and federal policies have become significantly more rigid. Many immigrants believe that having an SSN means they've crossed the finish line of their immigration journey. But here's the truth. Having an SSN is like getting an entry ticket. It doesn't mean you've reached the final destination. The gap between holding a Social Security number and being a U.S. citizen is wide and often underestimated. In this video, we're diving deep into what separates SSN holders from U.S. citizens, why this distinction matters more than ever in 2025, and what it could mean for your future in America. Let's start with a definition. An SSN, or Social Security number, is a 9-digit number issued by the Social Security Administration. It's primarily used for tracking earnings and determining eligibility for benefits. You need an SSN to legally work in the United States, pay taxes, open a bank account, or even get a driver's license in most states. But just because someone has an SSN doesn't mean they're a U.S. citizen. In fact, millions of visa holders, green card holders, DACA recipients, and even some asylum seekers have valid SSNs, but they do not have the full rights or protections of citizenship. On the other hand, U.S. citizenship is the highest legal status available under American immigration law. It means you're fully recognized as a permanent member of the American nation, with the right to vote, obtain a U.S. passport, and live anywhere in the world with the guarantee of being allowed back into the U.S. whenever you choose. In 2025, with heightened immigration crackdowns, the difference between having limited work-based permission and full citizenship status has become more critical than ever. Let's talk about legal protections. SSN holders who are not citizens can be deported, even if they've lived in the U.S. for years, have a family, and have committed only minor offenses. Under Trump's new executive orders in 2025, ICE has increased raids targeting visa overstays, even if the individual has a valid SSN and work history. Citizenship, on the other hand, offers immunity from deportation. Unless someone committed fraud in the naturalization process, a citizen cannot be forcibly removed from the country. Here's an example to help clarify. Let's say Maria is from El Salvador and came to the U.S. on a work visa. She has a Social Security number, has worked for 7 years, and pays her taxes. However, her visa recently expired. Even though she has an SSN and a spotless tax record, she's now at risk of deportation. Now compare her to David, who was born in New York. As a U.S. citizen, David can vote, travel freely, never worry about immigration raids, and access all federal programs. That's the power of the Blue Passport. Full legal protection. Let's explore the financial side. While both SSN holders and citizens pay taxes, not everyone receives the same return on their contributions. Many immigrants pay into Social Security for decades without ever becoming eligible to receive those benefits. Why? Because some temporary visa holders leave the U.S. before qualifying. Others fall into legal gray zones. In contrast, citizens are automatically eligible for Social Security retirement, Medicare, and other federal benefits, assuming they meet standard age and work requirements. Voting is another key area of difference. In 2025, voter ID laws are stricter than ever. You must prove U.S. citizenship to register to vote. SSN holders are automatically disqualified. Even green card holders, many of whom have lived in the U.S. for over a decade, cannot vote unless they naturalize. This means that major political decisions, from healthcare reform to immigration laws, are shaped by people who hold the rights of citizenship, not those who merely live and work in the country. Another major difference in 2025: international travel. Green card holders with SSNs face serious risks when leaving the U.S. If they stay out too long, they may be considered to have abandoned their permanent resident status. CBP officers at airports now conduct secondary inspections more aggressively. If there's any doubt about your intent to live permanently in the U.S., you could lose your green card, even if you have a valid SSN. By contrast, U.S. citizens travel freely with a powerful passport that opens over 180 countries visa-free, and you can stay abroad for years without risking your status. Let's talk about family sponsorships. U.S. citizens can sponsor spouses, children, and even parents for green cards with relatively faster processing. SSN holders cannot sponsor anyone unless they later become permanent residents and eventually citizens. That means families remain separated for years or forever because of legal limitations. In 2025, family-based immigration is facing even tighter quotas, making the path even harder for non-citizens. Healthcare access also varies. While emergency care is available regardless of status, federal healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act are available only to citizens and certain green card holders. Even Medicaid access differs by state and by immigration status. During emergencies like the COVID pandemic or public health crises, citizens received direct stimulus payments and aid that SSN holders without citizenship often did not qualify for. Another overlooked area is inheritance and property rights. Citizens have full rights to own property, transfer assets, and avoid certain tax penalties when passing wealth to children or family members. Some visa holders with SSNs face legal barriers or tax penalties if they try to invest long-term in real estate. Now let's look at the path forward. If you currently hold an SSN and want to secure your future in the U.S., the most reliable way is to pursue citizenship. First, make sure your immigration status is legal and up to date. If you're on a work visa or a green card, keep every document current, especially under Trump's 2025 crackdown, where overstays and employment violations are being aggressively punished. Second, if you qualify, apply for naturalization as soon as possible. The process can take up to a year or more depending on where you live. Delays are common, and security checks have become stricter. The requirements for naturalization include holding a green card for at least 5 years, or 3 if married to a U.S. citizen, showing continuous residence, proving good moral character, passing the English and civics test, and taking the oath of allegiance. In 2025, more green card holders than ever are applying, but USCIS is under pressure, and delays are real. Don't wait until it's too late. So if you're an immigrant in 2025 and your goal is to live here permanently, raise your family, and participate fully in American life, don't stop at the SSN. Keep going. Work toward your green card, then go all the way to citizenship. It's the only way to truly protect your future in a country where the rules are shifting quickly and security is no longer guaranteed. Remember, a social security number is not your finish line. It's just your starting point. Your true protection, your true power lies in becoming a citizen of the United States.